Welcome to another Study Abroad Pre-Departure Orientation video, entitled Travel. This video will take you through some well-known and not so well-known travel tips and tricks. Let's get started. With respect to travel, the most important documents are your passport and your visa, if applicable. Sign them, guard them, keep them safe. You cannot treat them too carefully. Scanning and emailing them to yourself is a great way to ensure you're not relying solely on hard copies. That said, all travel documentation is important. Print and keep copies of your travel confirmations, reservations, itineraries, boarding passes, etc. It might sound a little neurotic, but trust us, being over-prepared is a good thing. When you make copies of your passport, do not put those copies inside of the original passport. It might seem like the obvious place to store them, but the whole point is to have extra copies in case something happens to the original. A you lose one, you lose them all situation is not ideal. Find a safe place to store them during your travels. We keep a copy of your passport in our offices, but you'll want to leave a copy with a parent or loved one too. What is a visa? A visa is an indication of permission and purpose for entry to a particular country. The cost and duration of a visa varies by country and by the kind of visa issued. In some cases, a visa isn't required for a U.S. passport holder. However, in most cases, U.S. citizens must apply for a visa ahead of time, so do your research. We can and will assist you however we can, but at the end of the day, making sure your travel documents are up to date and prepared is ultimately up to you. If you are a non-US passport holder, many of the same rules from the previous section apply. However, you'll need to research the applicable rules and regulations within CSUF, on the host country side and on the US side. Work closely with the CSUF Study Abroad office and make sure you have answers to every question. Keep a short list of emergency contacts with you at all times while traveling, preferably in a safe but accessible place. Leaving a copy of that list with a family member wouldn't be a bad idea either. Also, share the address of where you'll be staying while overseas. Not only is it good for family or authorities back home to have, but you might have to put it on your embarkation and disembarkation cards. Whether or not you've gone through immigration and customs before, do some research on the specific arrival procedures for where you're going. They vary by country. You'll usually have to present your passport and necessary forms to an immigration official before you can go through customs. These are the authorities who ultimately decide whether or not you enter the country, so cooperate and be as helpful and prepared as possible. If your gear gets looked through at security, don't panic. Spot checks are common at this checkpoint. You can do a few things to lessen the stress of any spot checks you encounter. For example, keep all medication in the original, officially marked container. A baggie full of white pills might just be Tylenol, but a security guard is going to have some tough questions for you regardless. Before you travel, you must register your trip with the U.S. Department of State. Having your trip's location, duration, and local contact info on file with an American agency isn't the worst idea. U.S. consulates aren't always in the capital city, so do some quick research and find out where the local U.S. consulate is at your destination. Finally, the U.S. Department of State is always helpful. Write down or bookmark their links for dealing with lost or stolen passports. You can also sign up for alerts for the country you'll be traveling to. And they have an entire section dedicated to students traveling abroad, which is you. Check it out. Once you touch down in your host country, you're subject to their laws and restrictions. Ignorance of the law is no excuse for breaking it no matter where you go, so stay informed. If you do break the local laws, depending on circumstances, the United States government may or may not be able to help you. It should go without saying, but as a general rule, it's better to not break any laws. Thanks for watching. In the description below this video, you'll find links to the rest of the videos in this series, as well as links to various sections of this video in case you want to review anything in particular. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact the CSUF Study Abroad office.